Hey, Blue Table fans. Today we are going to take a look at a couple of models that I'm using for my role-playing games, and they are by Games Workshop for Nurgle. I'm actually looking up the names of them right now and see if I can find it. Now, normally they're called plague drones, and normally these guys are ridden by plague bears of Nurgle, and I got these guys in on a trade. There's actually a third one, but the wings, like one of the wings was missing. My fault. So I just painted up these two, and actually a lot of the original paint job is still on here. I just removed the riders and did all the repairs. I also based them differently, so you notice they have an 1/8 inch stand here. That is not the clear flight stand they normally come with. This is actually a nail, and just a good old nail is a good and inexpensive way to base your guys. What you do is you put the head of the nail on the base, glue it on, and then super glue, and then you use super glue to put on all the basing materials on top of the head, and it forms this really strong base. And then of course you just stick the other part of the nail into the model. You might have to drill a hole, and you might have to use bolt cutters to actually cut the nail down to size. But if you just go down to the hardware store and buy a bunch of nails of various sizes, you can usually get your stuff standed up really nice with metal and done really well. An alternative way to do it is to drill an 1/8 inch hole or whatever into the base and stick the nail up through it, and then glue the head of the nail onto the bottom, and then put some green stuff on top of that, probably about a dime sized pod of green stuff, and that'll really hold that nail head on there with the glue, the green stuff. And then on the upper side you'll obviously put in texture and rocks and stuff to hold it on there. So anyway, so I'm using these in my role-playing games as demons called Chasme, and I want to actually talk about that. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. Yeah, you see those rule books on the side. So let's set these guys aside. So if you go into the current 5th edition monster manual, there we go. There's an entry under demons for a demon called a Chasme. Chasme? Let's call it Chasme. Quite frankly, the art for this little monster is not great. It's, there it is. In fact, they've kind of changed the iconic appearances of a lot of these demons. Now, in the game, you'll notice these things are on 50mm bases. Rounded bases. I think these are actually War Machine bases, maybe? Yeah, Privateer Press. And originally I thought, oh no, they're going to be medium creatures, but if you look at the entry, they're actually large, which for Dungeons & Dragons means they are 2 inches on a side, so 50mm is actually just perfect. And in the game, these guys are pretty cool. They're challenge rating 6, so they're kind of middle of the road. They're pretty strong. Definitely really strong for a low-level party. But the original time that Chasme appeared was in, I do believe, 1981 in the adventure Lost Caverns of Sarkanth by Gary Gygax. And I love this module. Can't get enough. I'd like to do a 3D version of it. Actually, I am doing a 3D version of it. So let me show you the original art from early 80s of the Chasme. So there you go. That's what they look like. And obviously this is a medium creature, I mean, compared to this human. But of course, back at this time, the sizes didn't matter so much because you weren't really using maps and stuff like that. The size of a creature is more for like role-playing purposes. So anyway, I'm really excited about how these turned out. I think I gave them some good color, like, you know, this sort of purpley, rotted out area. I got some yellow in there. Yellow for the eyes draws that purple out really nicely. And of course, greens highlighted with ochre yellows. And these are just straight up black, the ends. And black is an underrated color to add to something, to just straight up put solid black on part of a model. there's something to be said for that. So anyway, I added in some reds down here, which I think really sort of brought the other colors out nicely. So I got to tell you, I'm pretty pleased with how these turned out. And for, you know, a throwaway, beat up, secondhand figures, I think these got refurbished quite nicely. And I can't wait to use them in my adventures. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you got your inspiration for the day.